Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. So the markets were actually up today, which was good to see. Bitcoin was up, miners were up for the most part, so that was good to see. Now, there's not much in miner news today, so we're going to really just cover what's going on with the Bitcoin ETFs, the Spot Bitcoin ETFs. There's some news around surrounding those, so we'll get into the one about Ark Invest, which is Kathy Woods, and then obviously the one that's BlackRock as well. We're getting into that really quick. And then is this the hype that's kind of pushing Bitcoin up in price right now? What happens when the stories kind of fall up to the side? Will Bitcoin still stay at this levels or will it actually go down? Okay. So as always, you guys know the drill here. This is not financial advice for entertainment only. Please do your own research. I'm invested in following coins and companies for full disclosure. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. Okay, so let's take a look at the markets here. The markets did really well today. S&P was up 1.15%. Dow Jones was up 0.63%. NASDAQ was up 0.42%. Bitcoin on the day was up 0.14%, so it closed at 30,697. It is back to the previous close where it closed here on Friday of last week. And when we're looking at this, I can see that the RSI was higher then than it was today, which is a good sign. So we are seeing the RSI coming down, prices staying the same. This could translate into further bullish momentum possibly, but we'll have to see on that one. Okay, so Bitcoin's doing pretty well. Ethereum did really well as well today. It was up nicely. It was up 1.65% as well. And we can see the same thing here, what happened between that on Friday and today. We can see that the RSI is down lower, price is around the same spot. So that could be a continuation of things to come, but we'll see. Obviously, nobody knows the future until it actually happens. So we'll find out in a couple of days, weeks, see how things play out, okay? Now, as I mentioned, with the Spot Bitcoin ETFs, all the hype that's surrounding it, that definitely drove our price up. And we'll have to see if this will actually continue going forward. If the news kind of subsides a little bit here on that Bitcoin ETF spot one, will the stock price, Bitcoin price, Ethereum price, will that actually go down when that happens? Time will tell. Okay, now as for the miners here, the miners had also a really good day for the most part. Some did okay, some did better than others. Some were actually down today. So Annie was up today 1.99%. Argo had a fantastic day today, was up 11.25%. Bit Digital had the same thing. It was up 11.72%. I mean, this one has continued to do really well here recently in the last probably, 30, 40 trading days, or since March. It looks like March 10th. I mean, it's been pretty much on the upward trajectory here for the most part. And we could possibly see it from, December is when it bottomed out, but it's been going up continually here, which is nice to see. BitDeer was down today, 4.18% on the day. Bitfarms was up 7.25%, really good day for them. Cypher was up only 2.11%. CleanSpark was up 5.45%. Cores was up 3.55%. And they've had a nice run here in the last 5 or 7 trading days. So that's been great to see. DigiHost was up 4.17%. DMG was up 8.78%. Greenidge was up 4.15%. Hive was up 10.97%. They had a really good day as well. They're kind of reaching their new highs here. It looks like of the year, potentially. Yeah, they closed at a new high here for the year. So they bottomed out on December, the end of December, as well as a lot of the other miners did. And they've actually done a pretty good job here growing back up. So they reached a new high for the year, which is nice to see. Hut 8, let's see, Hut 8, probably the same thing. Yep, they're going for new highs as well. They're up 11.28%. Today, Iris Energy was up 6.67%. And Marathon was up 13.49%. So they're also getting into new highs here as well for the year. Year to date, basically. Mawson was actually down today, 7.63%. They were kind of mixed here. They went up quite nicely through the beginning of the year, then kind of fell down and went back up, and now they're falling back down again to where they were back in February of this year. Riot was up 8.17%. Nice day for them. Soluna was down 1.68%. Soluna is like the only one that's been doing pretty badly here ever since the beginning of the year. They went up with the other miners, but then they've continued to fall here as time has gone on. Stronghold was up 1.26%. They've actually done worse. They're actually doing worse than where they started out at the beginning of the year. So that's not ever good to see. TerraWolf was up 8.28%. They've actually, I don't think they closed that above their previous high, which was back here on May 4th. But they are pretty close to that as well. And the RSI is actually lower on that one, so that one could actually go up higher. Okay, since the miners had a pretty good day, like I said. Network hash rates, take a look at that really quick as well. That has come up here a little bit to approximately 356 million on the 7-day average. If we look at the 1-day average, We can see that we've come back down here to 364 million on that one. So we are still going sideways here a little bit. We'll see how long that continues before more miners get plugged in and possibly older miners are getting unplugged too. Okay, let's take a look at the news stories that we do have here. So first one's going to be on Cathie Woods. Cathie Woods Ark reportedly first in line for a spot Bitcoin ETF. We've been trying to get a spot Bitcoin ETF since, 2021, I believe. We've been rejected multiple times by the SEC, by different companies that have applied for it. But we're seeing that possibly with BlackRock getting into it, others are getting into it again, that maybe this time around things might change, but we're still ways out, right? So here's the details. Ark Invest filed for a spot Bitcoin ETF in collaboration with 21 Shares long before BlackRock did, and its application is reportedly first in line for the SEC's approval. So that would be interesting, right? If that actually happens. Ark, let's see here. Several reports suggest that BlackRock could become the first issuer of a spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States should it receive approval, but that might not be the case, according to some executives and analysts. Other applicants will be able to amend their filings with similar agreements at little cost. Ark analyst Yassine, I can't pronounce the last name, so I'm sorry, reportedly said. So basically what that means is they would amend the application with probably the verbiage that BlackRock has in there for allowing SEC to view the transactions, things like that, to basically say that there is no manipulation in the market. Okay, so that's kind of what they're talking about there. Let's see here. Yassine stressed that Ark and the European asset manager 21 Shares filed an application with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission for a spot Bitcoin ETF in April. That now is the only one ahead of BlackRock's, he added. More industry observers, including Bloomberg Intelligence ETF analyst James Seifert, also argued that Ark and 21 Shares should be ahead of anyone for a spot Bitcoin ETF. So when would that possibly be coming in? Well, that might be within the next couple of weeks. So this looks like it might be like August 13th, it looks like, this year. And we still don't know, obviously, the date for the other applications as well. And let's see here. Many industry observers have highlighted the timing for BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF filing, with some alleging that the firm could have insider information about the SEC's BTC ETF policies. Maybe. I mean, BlackRock is huge. They got their little tentacles all over the place. Maybe they do have some insider knowledge on what the SEC is really looking for, right? They never actually explained it except for saying that market manipulation is usually their go-to reason for not allowing a spot Bitcoin ETF. So we'll see if that holds up. So here's Nate Garassi in a tweet. I will say, seems hard to believe this is all coincidence. BlackRock files for a spot BTC ETF. Four other issuers quickly follow suit. EDX crypto exchange launches backed by Fidelity and Schwab. 2x leveraged BTC futures ETF allowed by SEC. So that was a new one that's, I think, just started trading within the last day or so, or maybe even longer, but I just read about it recently. And there really hasn't been a lot of development since the first time any of these sponsors filed for their initial spot Bitcoin ETFs. Gunther said, adding, so this is kind of the flip side of it, right? Some argue that it might still take a little while for this to happen. We don't believe that a spot Bitcoin ETF will be available to the public anytime soon because there's still a certain amount of time for review, right? ARKS is supposed to get it by August 13th. That can be extended out for a decision. I think it's like 230 days at max. I think it's normally like 45 days. Then they can extend it out for another 90 days, or it's 90 days, and they can extend it out for another 90 days or something like that. So it could take a while. Because there's still a certain amount of time for review, so it could be not until next year. Potentially the year after that, we could see a spot Bitcoin ETF, so looking at like 2024 or potentially 2025. That would be right at our bull run, I guess you could say. And if that happens, well, then we might go parabolic in the Bitcoin space. If that happens, if we get a spot Bitcoin ETF right in our bull run, they could definitely drive a lot of cash into that as well. So we'll see. Right now, we obviously have a lot of big dogs getting into the space. Will that translate to actually getting the Bitcoin spot ETF? Nobody knows, but maybe they do have some insider knowledge. And also the ability for SEC to look into the exchange processes and everything else to see that there's no manipulation. Maybe that is all it really takes to get something like this going, but we'll see. Okay, so that's that one. And then Fidelity also is looking to get into it as well. So Fidelity readies new spot Bitcoin ETF filing, report says. So that's another one that's getting into the space as well. This is from June 27th. So believe today, asset manager Fidelity is expected to file with the U.S. securities regulator for Spot Bitcoin exchange-traded fund, joining other big money managers seeking to launch Bitcoin ETFs. The block reported on Tuesday, citing sources familiar with the matter. So that would be kind of interesting, right? In the past 2 weeks, we had BlackRock, Wisdom Tree, Invesco, Van Eck, Bitwise have all filed for Spot Bitcoin ETFs. Obviously, we've seen the run up in the price going up to 31,000 from there. And there's a lot of optimism here that you're going to get a Bitcoin ETF, said Edward Moya, senior analyst at Oanda. If that does get done, it could open the door for much more institutional money and probably some high net worth retail traders to get back into crypto, he said. And I would agree with that. If you do get that, you're now trading it on an exchange like E-Trade, Schwab, other ones like that, where you can able to get that. That is definitely going to push in a lot more money going into it, I think. People are going to see that as more secure than actually buying Bitcoin outright. People just don't understand and it is a little bit challenging to get on a regular Bitcoin exchange like Coinbase, Gemini, Binance, some of the other ones. You got to run through quite a few hoops to get into that and get it done right. So with all that being said, the big thing I'm looking into right now is obviously, is this going to have an impact on the Bitcoin price going forward? We've had a lot of news here happening quickly in the last couple of weeks, well, in the last week or so, that have really pushed the price up of Bitcoin in the good direction, going up. Now, when that wades down a little bit here as far as no further news or no news stories that we are getting or something like that, is that going to actually have an impact on the Bitcoin price coming back down a little bit? We'll see. Time will tell. Okay, but that's just something to be mindful of, that might happen. All right, so that's it. We'll see what happens tomorrow, see if we get any Bitcoin miners news or anything like that, and we'll go from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. See you then. Bye.